let's talk about coming out of a hard season. And this episode is really geared towards the woman who, it's been a hard few years. You've gone through a really difficult thing, and maybe you're still in it. You don't feel like you're out of it yet. Like you're still struggling to climb out, or maybe you feel like you're actually being able to breathe again, but you're realizing the money piece, the money relationship. That's one of the things that got left behind when you were in survival mode. This episode is going to be for you. So let's get to it. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Amy Circa, money confidence coach and bookkeeper, and over the last 14 years, I've helped women just like you get out of survival mode with money. We make money easy so that you ditch the guilt, the shame, the frustration, all of the things that come up with finances without having to sacrifice your latte or your favorite little thing, pinching pennies and restriction to get there. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome back to Money Simplified. Today, this episode is dedicated to the woman who's going through the hard thing. Maybe you're still in it. Maybe you're coming out of it. And whether it's being a caregiver and caring for a loved one, whether it's a parent or a spouse, or you're going through a season of grief, or you've had health challenges, or a loved one that's had health challenges and you were the caregiver and that, or a business that just took everything from you, or a relationship that did, or maybe you realize how much of your personal power and yourself that you gave away. So when you're coming out of the other side of that, first off, congratulations. I see you, and there's so much power in there and being willing to keep going. And I think, especially when we've been going through the hard thing, we can be looking for that recognition and feel like nobody gets it. Like nobody else understands, like, this is what's going on. This is, it's been this way. I've been in survival mode for so long. So when it starts to feel like you're coming out of the tunnel and you feel like you're starting to be able to breathe again, like, okay, maybe things are stabilizing. For anything like me, this involved a lot of healing, right? And then it was this healing process, and we had to go through this whole learning. You're not actually broken. Like, we're healing the parts of us that weren't operating in the way that we want them to be, right? But that didn't mean that you were broken. But you might end up that you're looking at your finances and your relationship with your finances and feeling like it's such a mess. And it's not because you were irresponsible. It's like you were in survival mode. You were doing the thing that you needed to do right now. And that is a big difference. And the fact that you did the thing that you needed to when you needed to do it, like, we are celebrating that. Because my goal, my job is to help you get out of survival mode with money, because we don't have to operate in that way anymore. But the fact that you're strong enough that you were operating out of survival mode, seriously, kudos to you. You did the hard thing, and that's so freaking powerful. And that's the part we miss. Like, we beat ourselves up for it. Like, we should have done better. We should have done this. This shouldn't have fallen down. Like, why couldn't I juggle the 15,000 plates and keep them all high in the air? No, you kept people from drowning. It was important, right? Like, you survived, and that matters. But the thing is, when life starts demanding all the things, the money systems and our money relationship in general, and I haven't quite figured out why we do this, why our trust really in ourselves and the universe and the support, like all of the foundational mindset beliefs that we have, why are those the things that need to go, right? Why do we do that? I haven't quite figured it out, but we do that, right? Our money systems are the first things that we let go. And again, it's not because you didn't think it wasn't important anymore. It was just you couldn't handle all the plates. So the accounts got commingled, or you're not looking at them anymore. Tracking is non-existent. And you stopped checking in with your account because there was nothing you could do about it anyways. What was the point in looking at it if it was just going to create frustration and fear and guilt and all these things? Like, there was nothing that you can do to change it. I'm not going to look at it. That's what survival mode looks like, right? Before we get into anything further, though, I'm really excited to share this with you. So if you are already like, okay, yeah, this makes sense, and I know the money piece needs attention, I've got something for you. I have recorded a free private podcast called Breaking the Money Cycle. There's going to be 6 episodes that talk about the 6 habits, 6 mindset shifts of why this keeps happening and what we need to do about it to finally, again, break free from the money cycle and get out of this survival mode. I'm going to put the link in the show notes below. I'm not going to give it to you out loud because I don't have a like pretty cute link ready for it yet because we are just recorded it. But grab that private podcast because this is a cycle that we perpetrate and we get stuck on, and we've called it the hamster wheel before, but we've got to get off of that, right? Like we have to break the cycle of being in survival mode with money. And there's a way to do this even when life gets crazy. So even if you feel like you're in survival mode or you've been living in a tunnel and you're just finally coming out of it now, like we get to talk about this because in reality, we feel like I've got to get everything stabilized. I've got to get this fixed. I got to get it set up. I have to have like all pretty before we can address the money. And we actually kind of hear this when I pull in a dating analogy here. Like I'm going to fix myself before I start dating. And yes, there's validity in that, right? Like in being able to work on yourself. But they've proven time and time again, if you sit here in your perfect little environment and work on yourself, there's only so much that you can do. And when you go out in the real world and things are complicated and messy and it's not your perfect sterile environment, will the work you've done on yourself held? Like one of the best things to do is to work on it in life. Like you don't have to have everything stabilized before you can address the money. Because when we address the money and we get out of the instability, because the problem is the numbers themselves. Like we look at the numbers of the bank account and I don't care what the numbers are. Like that part's not unstable. The part that feels unstable and is messy is what we're thinking about it. It's in your head. Your thoughts, that's what messes everything up. Our human experience, all of our thoughts. That's the part that we've got to work on. So if we're waiting to feel stable with our money, that we get everything perfect, like we're not going to get everything perfect to be able to work on our money. So then we're going to perpetrate this cycle. We're still stuck in it because we keep putting off the thing that's going to make all the difference. When you can reclaim your power and feel solid in where you're at, knowing that you're supported, all of these things are showing up and you can tell me like, oh, I'm not supported. Hey, I've had that belief before too. But again, human experience, our thoughts are not always on our side. So if we're stuck in this moment of, I've got to get things situated, I have to have things stable, you don't understand, Amy, you don't know what's going on. I've got this thing going on, I have all this pressure, I have these expectations, I have to be able to pay bills, have you seen inflation, like all of those things. I have to get it all figured out and I have to do it by myself and I have to have it stable and then I can get support. That's not how it works. We don't wait for everything to be figured out for it to be stable. Like, you go to the doctor when you're sick. You take medicine when you're sick. You get the help when you need it. Because the help, the medicine, is what helps stabilize things. Not I've got to feel better and then I'll go to the doctor. We got to get the help now. Like, you don't have to earn it. And we understand that logically, right? Logically with our, like, health. Okay, we see, okay, we need to have help, and whether or not, like, you're somebody that wants to take medicine or not, like, it can help you. So there's so many different types of people out there on that, but that's not the point. You know that it can help you. You know that you can do this, and this will get you support. When a kid's learning to walk, they know they're not going to learn to walk on the first try. It's going to take a couple, and they're going to figure it out. But we don't not learn how to walk because the first part's going to be messy. We fall down, we have bumps and bruises, but like, yeah, We know how to walk now, don't we? Like, we figured it out. With the stability showed up when we prioritized it and we took action. We didn't figure out everything else. But I think I've brought in like 4 analogies here. But reading a surf book is not the same as learning how to surf, right? It doesn't start with, okay, I've got everything organized and it's in the best part. Like, it starts with one thing. It starts with one honest look, one system. Start somewhere, get the one thing cleaned up. That's why inside the Unstoppable experience, I built what we're calling the Unstoppable Snapshot. And it goes through the 4 core financial systems that you need to have and helps you see, okay, this is where I'm at. This is actually in place. This is not in place. Because I can't tell you how many people will come to me and, oh, I've got a personal budget. And then we start talking about it. And it's like, you actually don't. Where we think we're at and where we're actually at are 2 different things. But when we go through that assessment, we're not trying to set up all 4 systems at once. We pick one thing, right? What's the one next thing that's going to move the biggest lever for you? You're not too far gone. I can't tell you how many times I go through this process within the Unstoppable Snapshot, because we've got office hours when we go through this with clients. And they're like, I'm so far behind, all of these things. Like, we say the exact same things. We're not as far apart as we feel like we are. And I understand that you feel like your situation has been so hard. You have all these things going on. And I am not discounting that. It has been hard. The part that we miss is so many of us have had hard things that we've gone through. And it's not better or worse. It doesn't matter. Like, we have all had those things. You're not starting from zero. You're not too far gone. And you're further along than you think you are most of the time, even if you don't have the systems in place. Because if you're here listening to this podcast or you're joining the Unstoppable experience, like, you're taking action. You want to improve your relationship with money. You're seeing the value in that. And when we start to prioritize this and we start to get some of those stability, it doesn't matter. You'll still have many freak out moments, right? Like, you can look at your sales and be like, oh my gosh, I do not have enough sales for this month like I wanted to. I'm nowhere near my goal. And you can have that moment of panic. But what happens when that moment of panic shows up and you've got the tools in your tool belt to be like, that's not true though. I don't know what can show up. All of those seeds that I planted for the last how many ever years you've been in business, like, those things can still show up. And it can show up outside of your business as well. We get so focused on, I want to make $10,000 months in my business, and we miss the $10,000 bonus that came in over here because it didn't come in through revenue through your business. No, I understand you want to have revenue in your business. Same. But I'm not discounting the support that I'm receiving outside of my business as well, because we're divinely supported. So you can open your bank account, and regardless of how much is in there, you're not dreading it, or you're actually opening your bank account, right? Because we've quit doing that, haven't we? When you feel like you are in charge and you're gonna be okay, like, that feeling right there, when you know you're like, you feel powerful, you feel unstoppable. That's why it's my word, right? You feel like you're gonna be okay. That's worth something. All of the hard work you've done, all of the survival mode, it's all been building up to this point. Everything that's led you here is exactly where you were supposed to be. And it's all part of your story of what you're going to create moving forward. So don't discount that. But we have to stop waiting to fix the money thing. Your relationship with money, your mindset, the financial systems, the energetics behind it. Like, this part here, when you figure this out, when we prioritize this, because I know you're coming to me saying, like, I just need to make more money. I need to make more sales, and then I'm going to hire you as my bookkeeper. I'm going to join the Unstoppable experience. As soon as I hit this, I've got it. But when we prioritize our relationship with money, so much changes, because we're not operating under the survival mode. It's like you're running away from something the entire time that you're in survival mode with money. And when you stop running and you stand, it's almost, here we go with another metaphor, right? if it feels like it's this huge mountain that's in front of you, but you realize like you've been like squatted down this whole time. So when you stand up and you can see how more, that's not the right grammar, how much more powerful you are, we're going to go with it. How much more powerful you are than the obstacle that is showing up. It's not as big of a deal because we've worked on our relationship with money and the way that we think and feel about ourselves. Because again, we can know what to do. You can logically tell me, you know, I have a millionaire mind and we can go through all the money beliefs, but if you don't actually believe it, the little voice inside your head doesn't believe it, we're not making the progress that we need to. Because energetically, they know you're lying. They know you don't believe it. They know you don't feel worthy of receiving it. And that's the work that we do inside of my programs, inside of the Unstoppable Experience, inside of Money Mastery Academy. Like, we work on all of the financial systems and the tactical part, but I have to get you believing in yourself first. I have to help you remember who you are. Because this isn't like something that you're lacking. You've always had it. But because of life circumstances, we've forgotten it. We've forgotten how powerful you are. I'm playing with my Substack being called Powerful with Money. By the time this is live, maybe it's been released. I don't know. But creating it as a different space because you are powerful and we've simply forgotten it. All right. So if today has felt like, okay, like maybe you're starting to get it, there is definitely more where this came from. Breaking the Money Cycle is the brand new free private podcast that I created exactly for the woman that this episode was for the client that inspired this episode. We've got 6 reasons, 6 mindset shifts that we're making. Why you keep doing all the things within your business. You're taking the courses, you're doing the launches, you're asking for the sales, you're on the new platforms, you're probably on Substack, right? Because that's the new hot one. But it still keeps feeling hard. This is the way out. This is the foundational piece. So, link's going to be in the show notes for you to grab that. And just put in your name, email, and it'll go straight to your inbox. I cannot wait for you to get to check it out. Remember, you've got this, and I've got you. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.